Hello, my dear fifth grade students. I'm Mr. Ahmed Magdy, your math teacher. Our lesson today is the eighth lesson of the second unit of the fifth grade curriculum of the academic year 2024-2025. Today, we will talk about the difference between factors and multiples of the number and how to connect them, and how to use the greatest common factor and the least common multiple in word problems and life situations. So let's go. First, we'll talk about the relation between factors and multiples. If I have an equation like this, I have 7 times 5 equals 35, okay? And I want to connect between the two numbers here and the big number here. I want to connect between 7 and 5 and 35, okay? So if I want to say 35 is connected with 7 and 5, so I can say 35 is a multiple for each of 7 and 5. Or if I want to connect between 7 and 35, I can say 7 is a factor of 35, or I can say 5 is a factor of 35. So in this relationship, or the multiplication relationship between the two sides here, I can define the factors of a number and the multiple of another number, okay? So if I want to find the factors of a number like 35, so I will ask about which timetable that contains 35. So it will be 1, 5, 7, and 35. And 35, I can say about it, it's a multiple for each of 1 and 5 and 7 and 35. So I can say 1, 5, 7, and 35 is a factors of 35. And 35 is a multiple of 1 and 5 and 7 and 35. Okay? Next, I wanted to define the difference between factors and multiples in general mode. Okay? So if I wanted to talk about factors, I will say that 1 is a factor for all numbers, okay? And each number except 0 has a finite number of factors. So if I want to say I want the factors of 6, so the factors of 6 is 1 and 2 and 3 and 6, just 4 factors, okay? So each number except 0 has a finite number of factors. Next, I can say any number is divisible by each of its factors. So I can say 6 is divisible by 1, by 2, by 3, by 6. Okay? Next, I can say factor of a number is smaller than or equal this number. Okay? So any factor of 6 is less than or equal 6. But I don't have a factor is more than 6, okay? Second, I will talk about multiples. 0 is a multiple for all numbers, okay? So I can say 0 is a multiple of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So 0 is a multiple for all numbers. But here I said 1 is a factor for all numbers. This is the difference between factors and multiples. Okay? Next, each number except 0 has an infinite number of multiples. So if I want to find the multiples of 6, I will say, or I will start with 0. Next I have 6, 12, 18, and so on. I will increase until no end. I don't have an end point to stop at their point, okay? So each number except 0 has an infinite number of multiples, okay? Next, I will say multiple is a product of two factors of or more, okay? Again, multiple is the product of two factors or more, okay? So if I want or I have two factors like 2 and 4. Okay, so if I want the multiple of 2 and 4 at the same time, I will multiply the two numbers together, so I will get 8. Okay, so 2 times 4 equals 8. 2 is a factor, 4 is a factor, and 8 is a multiple. Okay, next I will say non-zero multiple of a number is greater than or equal that number. Okay, so if I canceled 0 from here, I will see that every multiple of the number is greater than or equal that number. So I start with 6, and next I have 12 and 18 and 24, 30. All of these numbers are greater than or equal to 6. Okay, let's try one example like this. Or first, I want to talk about the difference between, or the relationship between, the greatest common factor and the least common multiple. Okay, the greatest common factor here deals with factors, only with factors. Okay, and it's obtained by finding the greatest factor among the common factors of these numbers. So if I want to find the greatest common factor between 6 and 9, I will search about the factors of 6 and the factor of 9, and then I will search about the common factors between the two numbers of the two numbers. Okay, and I will search about the greatest one between them, and this is the greatest common factor. But in the least common multiple, we deal with multiples. So it will be obtained by finding the smallest multiple among the common multiples of number. So if I have 6 and 9, so I will search about the multiples of 6 and multiples of 9, and after that I will find the common factors, common multiples of the numbers, and after that I will find the smallest multiple among the common multiples. And here's some very important point here. The greatest common factor and the least common multiple of two numbers, if we multiply them, we will get the product of the given two numbers. Okay, so if I have an example like this, the greatest common factor between 6 and 9 is 3, because 3 is a factor of 6 and factor of 9, and this is the greatest common factor of the two numbers. And here the least common multiple is 18, because 18 is the table of 9 and table of 6. Okay, so if we multiply 3 and 18, we will get 54. Okay, but 54 is the product of the given two numbers, because I have 6 times 9 equals 54. Okay, so the product of the greatest common factor and the least common multiple of two numbers equals the product of the given two numbers. Okay, next I wanted to find the greatest common factor and the least common multiple between these two numbers. The first one here, I have 9 and 24. Okay, so I will factorize 9. 9 equals 3 by 3, and I will stop because 3 is a prime and 3 is a prime, so I will go to the next number. I have 24. 24 equals 3 by 8, or maybe I can say 6 by 4. Okay, 6 equals 2 by 3, and 4 equals 2 by 2. Okay, next I will list the prime factors of two numbers under each other, so I will say 9 equals 3 by 3. Next I have 24 equals 3 by 2 by 2 by 2. I will write 3 under 3. Next I have 2 and 2 and 2. And look carefully. I write 2's in columns alone because I don't have any 2's in the first number. I don't have any prime factors of 2's in the first number. Okay, so the first column here is 3, the second column is 3, the third column is 2, next I have 2, next I have 2. So the greatest common factor here is just 3 because this is a common factor between the two numbers. Okay, and the least common multiple will be 3 from the first column. Next I have 3 and 2 and 2 and 2. So 3 times 3 equals 9. 2 by 2 by 2 equals 8. So 9 times 8 equals 72, and 72 is the least common multiple between the two numbers. If you return again, if I multiply the greatest common factor and the least common multiple between the two numbers, I will get the product of the given two numbers. Okay, so let's try this in this example. Here I have 9 times 4. 9 times 24 equals 144. Okay, and here I have 3 times 72 equals, no, 9 times 24 equals 216. So I'm sorry, 9 times 24 equals 216, and 3 times 72 equals 216. So the product of the greatest common factor and the least common multiple equals the product of the given two numbers. So the equation is right. Next, I have 6 and 16. So I will factorize 6 and I will factorize 16. 6 equals 2 by 3, and I will stop here. 16 equals 4 by 4. 4 equals 2 by 2, and 4 equals 2 by 2. Okay, so I have 4 2's. Okay, so 16 equals 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, and 6 equals 2 by 3. So I will write 2 here, and next I have 3. Okay, so the greatest common factor here will be just 2 because it is a common factor between the two numbers. Okay, so the greatest common factor is 2. Okay, and the least common multiple will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 prime factors. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. So it will be 2 by 2 equals 4, 2 by 2 equals 4, 4 by 4 equals 16, and 16 by 3 equals 48. So the least common multiple here is 48. Okay, here I have 14 and 21. So I will write 14 and 21. 14 equals 2 by 7, and 21 equals 3 by 7. Okay, so 14 equals 2 by 7, and 21 equals 7 by 3. Okay, so I have here just one common factor, and it's 7. So the greatest common factor here will be just 7. Okay, and the least common multiple here will be, I have 1, 2, 3 prime factors. 1, 2 by 7 by 3. 2 by 7 equals 14. 14 by 3 equals 42. So 42 is the least common multiple. Okay. Next I have 12 and 10. Okay. So 12 equals 2 by 6, and 6 equals 2 by 3. Here I have 10. 10 equals 2 by 5. So here I have 12 equals 2 by 2 by 3, and 10 equals 2 by 5. Okay, so the greatest common factor here will be just 2 because it's the only common factor between the two numbers, and the least common multiple will be 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 prime factors: 2 by 2 by 3 by 5. 2 by 2 equals 4, and 3 by 5 equals 15. So 4 times 15 equals 60. So the least common multiple is 60. Here I have 20 and 30. Okay, 20 equals 2 by 10. 10 equals 2 by 5. 30 equals 3 by 10, and 10 equals 2 by 5. So 20 equals 2 by 2 by 5, and 30 equals 3, so I will write 3 here, by 2 here, by 5 here. So it will be 2 by 5 by 3. Okay, next I will find the common factors. I have here 2 and 5. Okay, so the greatest common factor will be 2 by 5, and 2 by 5 equals 10. So the greatest common factor equals 10. Next I have the least common multiple. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 prime factors. I have 2 by 2 by 5 by 3. 2 by 2 equals 4. 5 by 3 equals 15. So the least common multiple is 4 by 15, and 4 by 15 equals 60. So the least common multiple will be 60. Next I have three numbers: 18, 30, and 45. 18 equals 3 by 6, and 6 equals 2 by 3. 30 equals 3 by 10. 10 equals 2 by 5. 45 equals 5 by 9, and 9 equals 3 by 3. So the first number here is 18 equals 3 by 3 by 2, and 30 equals 3 by 2 by 5, and 45 equals 5 by 3 by 3. So I have here 3, and here I have 5, and next I have 3, so it will be 3 times 5 times 3. Okay, so the greatest common factor will be what? Listen, I have just 3 repeated in the 3 numbers together. Okay, so the greatest common factor is only 3. And the least common multiple, we will take one number from every column. So here I have 3. The second one I have 3. The third one I have 2. The fourth one I have 5. And the last one I have 3. So 3 by 3 equals 9. And 2 by 5 equals 10. And I have by 3 times 3. 9 by 10 equals 90, and 90 by 3 equals 270. So the least common multiple is 270. Okay? Next, if I have a story problem, I need to decide whether I want to find the greatest common factor or the least common multiple. But how? What kind of stories or story problems might involve finding the greatest common factor or finding the least common multiple? If I have a story problem that involve dividing, distributing, or cutting it to pieces, or breaking something in groups, we will use the greatest common factor. If I have problems involve something repeated, multiple items, or when two things occur at the same time. Okay, so the greatest common factor depends on dividing, okay, or cutting or distributing. But here, the least common multiple depends on the repeating or multiple things. Okay, so if I have a story problem like this, the dimensions of a room are 12 and 8 meters. A contractor wants to tile the room using the least number of squared tiles. Okay, what should the tile dimension be? Okay, listen carefully. The dimensions of the room are 12 and 8, and I want to tile the room using the least number of squared tiles. What should the tile dimension be? Here I wanted to divide the room into pieces to tile the room using the least number of squared tiles. So I wanted to divide the room into squares. Okay, so what is the least number of squared tiles? Let's go back again in this page. Here I told you that if I want to divide anything, I want to find the greatest common factor. And here I want to divide the room into squares. Okay, so I want here to find the greatest common factor of the two numbers. So here I have 8 and 8, 12. 8 and 12. 8 equals 4 by 2 and 4 equals 2 by 2. Here I have 12 equals 4 by 3 and 4 here equals 3 by 3. 4 equals 2 by 2. Okay, so 8 equals 2 by 2 by 2 and 12 equals 2 by 2 by 3. Okay, so how to find the greatest common factor here? I will search about the repeating factors in the two numbers. So I have here 2 and 2. So I will multiply 2 by 2. It gives me 4. So the greatest common factor here is 4. So the dimensions of the tile will be a square of side, a square of side length equals 4 centimeter, 4 meters. Okay, let's do another example. Here I have two neon signs are turned on at the same time. Both signs blinked as they are turned on. One sign blinks every 9 seconds and the other sign blinks every 15 seconds. In how many seconds will they blink together again? Okay, read this again. You will find that we use repeating here. The first keywords that gives me the information of repeating is every 9 seconds. So the first sign, repeating after 9 seconds or every 9 seconds. Okay, and the second one, repeating after 15 seconds. So I have repeating here, so I want to find the least common multiple. So I have 9 and I have 18. I have 15. So 9 equals 3 by 3 and 15 equals 3 by 5. Okay, so 9 equals 3 by 3 and 15 equals 3 by 5. And I want to find the least common multiple. Okay, so the least common multiple here is the first column have 3, the second one have 3, and the third one have 5, has 5. So it will be 3 by 3 by 5 equals 45. So in how many seconds will they blink together again? I think it will be after 45 seconds. Okay, so after 45 seconds they will blink together at the same second. Okay, let's do another one. Here I have Farmer John and Farmer Jane are planning out their fruit orchid. Farmer John is planting the orange trees and Farmer Jane is planting the cherry trees. Farmer John has 30 orange trees to plant and Farmer Jane has 24 cherry trees to plant. They want to plant the trees so that each row has the same number of trees. So what is the largest number of trees each row can have? The idea of this problem is depends on dividing or cutting or distributing the two numbers. So I want to distribute 30 and 24, and I want them with the same number of trees in each row. Okay, so here I wanted to find the greatest common factor because I want here to distribute the two numbers, to divide the two numbers. Okay, so I want here to find the greatest common factor between two numbers, 24 and 30. So I would factorize the number 24 first. 24 equals 4 by 6 and 4 equals 2 by 2. 6 equals 2 by 3, so I have 2 and 2 and 2 and 3. 30 equals 5 by 6 and 5 is prime, so I will stop here. 6 equals 2 by 3, so I have 24 equals 2 by 2 by 2 by 3, and 30 equals 2 by 3 by 5. 2, 3, and 5. So the common prime factors here is 2 and 5, 2 and 3. So the greatest common factor equals 2 times 3, and 2 times 3 equals 6. So the greatest common factor is 6. So if I want to answer the question of the problem, what is the largest number of trees the largest number of trees each row can have? I will say 6 trees. Okay? Next, I have Malak baked 30 servings of cakes and 48 servings of baklava for her family. She wants to divide, and the first keywords appears. She wants to divide the dessert into containers so that each person receives the same number of servings. How many containers will she need? Do you have to find the greatest common factor or the least common multiple? And what is the answer? Okay, so let's analyze the problem carefully. The first thing here is I want to divide the two numbers into containers. Okay, so divide means I want to find the greatest common factor. Okay, so the first question here, do I have to find the greatest common factor or the least common multiple? I want, or I have to find the greatest common factor. Okay, next, how many containers will she need? Okay, I think if I find the greatest common factor, I will answer for this question. Okay, so I have here 30 and 48. So 30 equals 5 by 6 and 6 equals 2 by 3. 48 equals 8 by 6 and 8 equals 2 by 4 and 4 equals 2 by 2 and 6 equals 2 by 3. So here I have 5, 2 and 3. Here I have 2, 2, 2, 2 and 3. So 30 equals 5 by 2 by 3 and 48 equals 2 by 3 by 2 by 2 by 2. I have 4 2's and 1 3. Okay, so next I want to find the greatest common factor. Okay, so I will search about the repeating factor or the common prime factors. So I have here 2 and 3. So it will be 2 times 3 equals 6. So the greatest common factor is 6. So the question here is about how many containers will she need. I think she will need 6 containers. So I can say here she will need 6 containers. Okay, and with this we have finished our video today, in which we talked about the difference between factors and multiples of a number and how to connect them, and how to use the greatest common factor and the least common multiple in word problems and life situations. And we solved so many examples on all these problems or these points. I hope people understood our lesson today, and I hope that you solve many exercises on this lesson so that we can understand more. If you have any questions, send them in comments, and don't forget to like and share the video with your friends and subscribe to my channel. I will see you in a new video and a new lesson. I'm Mr. Ahmed Magdy, your math teacher. Goodbye.